What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and well, as y'all know, it is Wednesday, which means the new summit is now live, and for this one, we're going to have the Aquatic Splash Smoke, which I'm looking forward to testing that out, because normally these smokes do look pretty awesome for the most part. Then in gold, we have the BMW M4, which I would say basically everybody already has this vehicle, so if you do, you'll just get the money back for that. And then in silver, we're going to have the Legendary Half Set, which is a score breaker, which I think could be pretty dang useful on the street class. I will end up testing this out more, because the street cars seem like they are plenty fast to do these slaloms that are on the racetracks and or at the airports, which I actually did end up doing that recently as well, and the street car really did not struggle in any way at all. But moving over to the next summit is going to be the Dominion Series Phase 3, which all these seem to be a lot of fun. This one's going to give you the orange smoky nitro, which looks pretty interesting. Then the Fame Magnet Booster, which I do believe that is bugged out, as I mentioned before. But taking a look at this summit, we're going to have a nice mix of races here, basically street, touring, Alpha GP. This will probably be a pretty fun one to do. Then moving over to the next one will be the Japanese Drive, which I would say a lot of players are probably waiting for this car to come back. The Honda S2000 Red Panther Edition, which personally is probably one of the best looking summit cars in the game. I mean, the overall aesthetic of this Honda looks really good, plus this car sounds really cool as well, and it also has pretty decent handling to back it up, which I think is pretty awesome. Then in gold, we have this really weird looking purple tire, which I will most likely not be using that. Then the blinking red underglow in the silver category there. Then moving over to the next summit, cross class in general, but I will end up testing this out more because I do want to know how it's going to actually perform on the vehicles. We all know there's really no point of really having this set on this class when we have the rally raid vehicles, but who knows, maybe this might actually be useful in a way, even though those perks on there look like they're going to be kind of useless for the most part. Then in gold, we have the BMW X6M, which most players probably already have this vehicle, so you'll get the money back for that. And then obviously we have the spare part pack and all that good stuff there. Then finally, the next summit's going to be the Polar Rush, which we'll have to wait for that one for next week. But that'll pretty much do it for the up and coming summits. I would say this Honda is going to be worth going after. This car is definitely pretty dope. Which will be the Dominion Series Phase 4, which I notice a lot of these summits have been a lot of fun, so I'm sure this one's going to be in that category as well. Then in Platinum, we have the Scorebreaker boosted for the Rallycross class, which is going to be kind of weird because I really do not see a point of using this when we have the Rally Raid vehicles, but it'll be fun to test it out and see how this Scorebreaker set might actually affect this and to see if these vehicles are useful. And now moving over to the Summertide Summit, which I would say this one's going to be a lot of fun to do for many players. Basically 4 hypercar races and 2 street races. I found this one to be really fun to do, but moving over to the first one's going to be a speed trap. I normally don't really like doing these all that much because obviously you do need to slipstream to get the most speed. Luckily, this one's going to be kind of annoying to do with people anyway because of the road that it's on. There's like turns and stuff. I got 381 miles an hour on my first run. I kind of just stuck with that. I probably will not be redoing it, to be honest. But luckily, the Stingray is going to be your best option there. Then moving over to the low altitude, this one's also going to be pretty easy to do. For this, right when you start off, I basically recommend hitting the checkpoint and going to the right and following that river. Do not go straight. I don't think that's going to be the best option there, and pretty much go as fast as you can, and you should be good to go getting over 150k on the low altitudes. These are normally pretty easy. Do keep in mind having a score breaker is going to help tremendously with your score on these. Then moving over, we will have the Escape here, which I did end up running the drag car again. I thought this was going to be on the annoying side, but luckily all you have to basically do is go past the checkpoint, turn around and hit it, and then take a left and jump onto the highway and pretty much go as fast as you can. The biggest issue with this one is trying to dodge the pedestrians in a drag car because, well, they sometimes spawn out of nowhere. If they're on a turn, normally trying to get around the turns in the drag cars could be a bit of an issue as well. Luckily, the Stingray can kind of turn, which still doesn't really make much of any sense. And then moving over to the first event here is going to be a street race, and I did end up running the Infiniti Q60 because I'm not planning on using any of the quote-unquote meta cars anymore. And luckily, the Infiniti is going to be a really good vehicle. Now, I probably could have did better on this race because it honestly wasn't that great. And if you might have been wondering, the Infiniti is going to be a little bit slower than like the Lamborghini or the Porsche, but I still think it's going to be a great option on many of the races because this thing does seem to be really good. The handling's top tier, and luckily the speed's decent, kind of. Going to be a little bit slower than the other vehicles as I mentioned before, but luckily it can still compete with no issues. Then moving over, we're going to have a hypercar race with the Corvette C7 ZR1, which for this one you'll probably get a better time slipstreaming because the race is very open. I got 2 minutes and 36, my friend got 2:31 and only beat me by 3,000 points, so it looks like the scoring on this isn't going to be all that crazy, which is probably a good thing. So it's probably very lenient on what you can get, which is probably good because if you are running these solo, you probably can't get an insanely high time, which, you know, some of the races do kind of rely on that a bit. And then moving over to the next hypercar race, I did end up running the Lamborghini Egoista because this is going to Vegas, which having a car with a little bit better speed is probably going to be very helpful. And it's kind of crazy because the Egoista is still insanely good. In some areas, I was hitting like 305 with this car with no issues. It turns really well. I do highly recommend trying out this car again because it does seem like it's actually top tier, and I really do not see a lot of players running it anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. I know the Bugattis are great, but definitely try out the Egoista once again. You guys will not regret that. Then moving over to the other no restriction hypercar race, I did actually use the KTM Expo GTX, which honestly is probably not a very good option on this race. The one thing that KTM has going for it is it has crazy good handling and literally turns on a dime with no issues at all. The speed might be a little bit slower compared to like a Bugatti, but I do think this car is going to be really good. Definitely try this thing out a bit if you guys want to, and I do recommend it because it is actually a pretty dang decent vehicle. Pretty good overall speed, but the handling is just honestly incredible on this car. And then moving over to the final street race is going to be with the i8 Roadster, which honestly this race might be on the annoying side. Now personally, the BMW really is not that bad of a vehicle from what I have noticed, but this race is going to have a lot of curbs and all that, so it could throw the car off a little bit. I got 2 minutes and 23 seconds on this. I could probably do a little bit better, but I just don't really see a point of going after like another 4,000 or 5,000 points there. But luckily this race shouldn't be too awful. The biggest thing is watching out for the curbs and all that and trying not to like slide off them, because I did that way too many times, which was pretty funny to watch, but also does mess your time up insanely bad. Then moving over to the final event here is going to be with the 720S, which I really do love this vehicle. This might be one of the best overall hypercars in the game. I got 2 minutes and 22 seconds on this. This is actually a street race as well, which is kind of funny, but I really do wish we could mix the races together. I really think that'd be a lot of fun to do, but the McLaren is really good. It handles great. It's got great speed. There's really nothing wrong with this car at all. I was actually thinking about running this car more often in the future in different races, which I might end up doing because the McLaren definitely has some great potential to it. But if you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. Let's jump right into this summit.